So there's the therapist that I follow here on TikTok. Her name is Sherry. And she posed the question of neutrality. What if everything is neutral? Now, my autistic self immediately rejected that because I'm a black and white thinker. And there's no gray area for black and white thinkers. It either is or it isn't. It's right or it's wrong. It's smart or it's dumb. So when my therapist posed neutrality to me today, and it was in the discussion of my black and white thinking and the fact that it is a problem for me, I decided I needed to open up to this idea of neutrality. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm at the beginning of this. I'm so unsure of so many things, but I know that what I'm doing currently isn't working. So I'm open to new thoughts, new ideas, and new information. Another thing that I was unsure about that I appreciated today with my current therapist is we don't approach anything from the foundation of neurodivergence. We really just deal with individual symptoms as they're coming, and as they're coming up for me and I bring them to her, we deal with those things. So like today we talked about, the black and white thinking, the rigidity, and I really appreciate the approach, because if I were to just look at it through the lens of autism, I could just say, well, yeah, that's, very common, some might even say textbook autism, so it is what it is, right? Is it though? We have within us the capability to change. It's hard as fuck. So it's not something that most people are going to do. That's just facts. But we do have the capability of change. I'm dedicated to that for myself. That's why I go to therapy every week. That's why I'm constantly, reviewing my day emotionally, and qualifying, my emotional state, and not just accepting it is what it is, but, what can I do to improve my quality of life so that the job that I gotta have, because I gotta work and I gotta support my family, so that's easier for me, so I don't have meltdowns, so that I don't get overwhelmed as much. That's really the goal. I cannot, ever do enough therapy where I will just not be neurodivergent. That's not a thing. But I can manage my symptoms. I've learned a lot in the past year. And the more I learn, the easier it gets. Not only learning about different therapies, but also learning about myself. And that is what's allowing me to really connect all the dots and put it all together and say, okay, I struggle with this because of, but that doesn't mean I can't do it. I just had to have the better understanding of how my brain works so that I could figure out how to apply these things, in a way that makes sense for me. Because that's, my biggest challenge as an autistic person is Things that make sense to other people just don't make sense to me. And if it doesn't make sense to me, I reject it. So I'm trying to push past those, what's the word? Instincts that I have, that I've built up over the years, that, make me run from, evade, and avoid the hard stuff. And now I'm learning how to work through the hard stuff. I told her today that I like to travel. I like to have options because I don't like to ever feel stifled, stuck, or stagnant. And her first question was, what you running from? I said, boredom. She didn't accept that. She kept digging, like, okay, what's really going on up? What's under the boredom? So once we talked through it, there was a breakthrough there of how I have to stop trying to run away and learn how to work through. And also that having a positive mindset all the time is an unrealistic expectation to have of myself. And because I have that expectation of myself, whenever I don't feel positive, I feel like I'm failing. So her homework for me was graciousness. She told me for the next 2 weeks, my focus is extending grace to myself. That is what I'm bad at, is telling myself it's okay. I'm quick to say it to everybody else, but when it comes to me, I'm really tough on myself. So I just really appreciate the growth so far. I've been putting in a lot of work on myself, and I'm getting answers, and I'm making progress. So I'm proud of myself for that, and I'm proud of anyone else out there who is on their own journey of self-discovery and self-improvement. It makes a difference. It really does. And whatever progress you can make is the progress you can make. And be proud of it, whatever it is. We all have different capacities. We're all at different levels. So it doesn't help me to look at the next person and judge myself against their progress and their knowledge, because their progress and their knowledge doesn't apply to me in my life. So, grace. I'm doing a good job. I'm doing a great job. I'm doing an amazing job.